Okay, hello and welcome officially to the video. My name is Sophia and today we have something really excited, which is going to be like a reading vlog and review at the end of the new Hunger Games book, Sunrise on the Reaping, which tells haymitchs' story of the 50th Hunger Games. I just wanted to say welcome. You saw me shopping at the Indigo is where I ended up buying it. Usually I like to support smaller bookstores, but I did make an exception for this new release because it just came out today. Today is March 18th. And yeah, they had 25% off. So I believe I got it for about $25. And I also did get the new Augustina Bazterrica book that didn't come out today, but came out recently, which is called The Unworthy. And I showed that as well, but that won't be included in this video. So yeah, I bought that. It is hardcover. I'm not a huge hardcover fan. I actually do prefer a soft cover, whatever. Yeah, welcome. I went in between like my classes today. Well, not in between, just after my classes. And then I read some of it. I believe I'm on page 60 now, probably. And so far it's really good. Disclaimer, I was not a big fan of the fourth book, Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. I didn't like that one. For me, it was just a really big jump from the Hunger Games, which makes sense because it was 75 years earlier. Sorry if you can hear the car noise, it is running, which I guess it doesn't have to be, but whatever. I also wasn't a really big fan of the movie either, unfortunately. I think just because I didn't like the book, but then again, it's like, it was like so different from everything that I loved about the Hunger Games, which maybe that sounds silly to say, but yeah, for me, it just, I wasn't a big fan, but this one I'm really liking so far. As I said, I'm only on page 60, but yeah, I'll take you along with me as I read it. I do have like kind of a busy week coming, but hopefully I can get this done in 1 week. So let's see if I can finish this book in 1 week. As I said, today is Tuesday, March 18th. So by next Tuesday, let's see if I can have this finished. Again, I just wanted to say welcome. I usually don't film in my car, but it's so lovely and sunny. So I just wanted to bask in the sun for a little bit and say hello. So yeah, let's enjoy this book. Okay, I wanted to give a quick update, a 50% update. I'm 50% of the way through. It's 190 pages I've read about, and it's like a 340 page book, so that's about halfway. Sorry if you hear some noise, my parents are watching Severance. But yeah, I am halfway through, and this is gonna be not a spoiler, but I'm just gonna say what's happening. But if you don't want to hear what's happening 50% of the way through, you're more than welcome to skip ahead. Yeah, 50% of the way through, and now they are just about to head into the games. So I feel like this is a bit of a slower pace than the original Hunger Games, at least the first Hunger Games and then Catching Fire. I feel like she was in the arena after maybe the first third, but I might be wrong. So yeah, we haven't hit the arena yet. We're still like, the interviews just happened for all the tributes. So yeah, a bit of a slower pace, but not noticing it when I'm reading it. Like, I'm not noticing that it's really slow, but I just realized that I'm at 50% and they haven't even gone into the arena yet. But I'm really liking it. I like it so much more than Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. I really just felt that one was very far removed, which it was just me. Like, I understand why people liked it, but also this one is very similar to the Hunger Games, obviously because it's following the 50th Hunger Games. So a lot of the stuff that's happening is the same, like the interviews and stuff, because it's only 25 years before Katniss's games, because hers was the 74th and 75th Hunger Games. So yeah, it's very similar. And one thing that I'm noticing is that although this is like technically a prequel, I do believe that you would have had to read the Hunger Games, at least the first Hunger Games and Catching Fire. No, Catching Fire, yeah, sorry. At least Hunger Games and Catching Fire, because a lot of characters are brought up, like characters from those books, like old victors and stuff, and I feel like it does help to know who they are, because otherwise you would just be like, okay, why are we spending time on this character? Who cares if you didn't know them from the Hunger Games, if you know what I mean. There's some cameos, which is really fun, and I am enjoying it. I'm liking it. It's very similar, but not bad, and doesn't feel like Haymitch, but I think that's because we know so little about him in the original games. But yeah, really liking it. This is my 50% update. Might do one at 75 or something, but I'll save my final thoughts obviously until the end. So yeah, I would like to finish this sooner rather than later, but what do you do? So yeah, 50% update. I'm now gonna crochet because I don't want to read anymore. I don't like rushing through things too much because I like to savor it. But yeah, that's my update. Okay, I believe this is my final update before the end. I am back in my car at the same position where I first said hello on Tuesday, but instead of having a lovely sunny day, we have this storm central incoming. Big rain about to come. So I'm excited to have a cozy day, but I do definitely think that I'm going to be able to finish this tonight. As I said, it's Thursday. I bought this on Tuesday, and I only have 60 pages left. I'm on page 320 something, and there's about 380 something pages. I am really liking it, and I'm really excited to see what is going to happen. I think this is going to be a 5-star. We'll see how it wraps up, but I'm really liking it. So I think this will be my last check-in before I finish it tonight, and then I'll do my final review. I read a lot today on the train. I had like about 40 minutes on the train each way to and from school, so I just read a lot there. And yeah, I'm really loving it. I don't even know what to say. I just finished it like 10 minutes ago, and I've just been thinking. And sorry for the lighting, it's late, but I wanted to film this now while I just finished it. 5 stars. 5 stars for sure. It was so good. I'm gonna try to do a bit of a proper review right now. I won't do any spoilers, but this will be a spoiler, so if you don't want to hear this, skip. But it's something that happened in like the books. So obviously Haymitch wins. I guess that's the spoiler. But we know that because he's alive during the Hunger Games proper. And this was so good because obviously Haymitch in the Hunger Games, he is like a drunk. They say he's not helpful at the beginning, and he's just drinking and, you know, useless basically at the beginning, at least. This really obviously goes into why, and from when he's 16 and when he was raped to like how did that change him, and why was he like this in the books, because he wasn't always a loser and unmotivated. And what I really liked is that this was a story of defiance against the Capitol, from Haymitch and other people as well. And what we learned in the Hunger Games books was not the full story of Haymitch's games. That was what the Capitol wanted to tell because it was good for their image. But we learn in this book, Sunrise on the Reaping, what actually happened and how Haymitch attempted to defy the Capitol, and then why he had such a connection with Katniss in the books, because I believe he saw so much of himself and the people that he liked in Katniss. Yeah, there were also a lot of callbacks or like cameos from the characters of Hunger Games and Catching Fire mostly. Obviously, there's the big ones like President Snow is still in it, but also smaller ones like Effie Trinket makes an appearance in this book. We have Beetee, Wyrus, Mags, some of the other victors like that. So that was really good. And there is also mentions of Lucy Gray from Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, and there's mentions of that whole story, what happened in there, but I don't really want to say too much. I feel like I can't do like a good review because it's pretty self-explanatory what happens. It follows Haymitch's games, and everyone knows how the Hunger Games go. But in this book, like in his, it's the 50th, the second quarter crawl, the 50th Hunger Games. So there's twice as many tributes as usual. That's what they decide to do. But yeah, I thought that it was really good and really creative. I was worried when I heard the book being announced. I was worried that it might be, and this sounds like such a negative thing to say because it is, I thought that it might be a little bit of like a cash grab, that it would just be trying to hold on to the Hunger Games trilogy because she knows that people will buy it anyways. That was not the case at all. I really think that this was so thought out, every single minute, tying into the other books and making sure that she didn't, you know, go against what happened in those books, but she also added a lot of detail. So it's not like you're just reading what you already know, if that makes sense. Like, it was so good. I just don't know how else to say that. I really like this. I don't usually read 350-page books in 2 days, 3 days like I did, but I just flew through this because it was sort of nostalgic. I love the Hunger Games, the original one, and this was so nostalgic in that way. I will say it's a little bit of a tougher read, being like the age I am now, 20, and knowing more about politics and knowing what's going on in the world right now and how it is shockingly similar to President Snow, with the immense control that they're doing. So let's hope that the world continues after these 4 years coming. And I am really concerned, but I kind of like to bury my head in the sand, which is a bad thing to say because I just get so stressed out if I try to read too much of the news. But anyways, it's a little bit scarier now, but a lot of the characters were the same. I would say I would still recommend to read the books in chronological order. So I would read the 3 Hunger Games ones first, like Hunger Games, Mockingjay, Hunger Games, Catching Fire, Mockingjay. Then I would read Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, and then I would read this. I would still keep it in the chronological order because stuff was said in this about like Lucy Gray that I feel like you would be like, what? If you didn't read Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. So I feel like it wouldn't fully take away from the story. Like, you could still understand the story, but I definitely think that this was made for fans of the Hunger Games and for people who have read all the books. I think it wasn't made to be able to be read independently, if that makes sense. Yeah, I guess I just don't really have much else to say. I really enjoyed it, is my consensus, and I hope this was an enjoyable reading vlog. I also am excited to see the movie. I hope that it's good. I don't know why, but the movies that are coming out recently have been like really hit or miss, or I either really like them or I just genuinely don't know why they feel so fake, if that makes sense, like ingenuine, like they don't feel, I don't know, but I'm really hoping that they do right with the casting and everything like that, because I think it has a lot of potential to be a great movie, just like the original Hunger Games were. I was a little bit too young to be a fan of the Hunger Games when it first came out. I was a fan later, but I think it came out, like 2011 or even earlier, so I was like 6. So there's no way I was reading or watching the Hunger Games at that time, but I definitely did start when I was like 12 or something, which would have been in like 2016. So not right when they came out, but when I was older. But yeah, that was my thoughts. I hope that this made enough sense. So far it's doing really well on Goodreads, so it seems like a lot of people are liking it. And sorry for the bad lighting, but I just really wanted to get my thoughts out. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. I'll definitely post a review on the movie when it comes out, but it's like in a year, but that's okay. And yeah, see how it compares. Thank you so much for watching and being here, and I'll see you next time.